Hello, I'm Lyndell from Lyndell's Craft Escape. I'm going to make a shaker tassel ornament from a mini salt shaker from the Cracker Barrel. I first have to apply my lipstick. That's become sort of a trademark of mine on my lives. This sweet little church is white and it has gold windows in it. I am using the stainless steel 20 gauge wire, and I did it at 16 inches, and that seems to be an okay length. I think you might do more if you wanted to do more tassel strands, but in this case it turns out to be just right. I bend this wire in half and don't crease it, but just kind of hold it up like that, a loop. And then I'm going to take a dowel. My dowel happens to be 3/4 inches. I believe ideally a 1/2 inch dowel would be okay for sure. And I'm making my own quote unquote jump ring. I was taught this by Miss Debbie Taylor with Tailored by Debbie. And I'll take my needle nose pliers and I'm just twisting that loop around that dowel. And I twisted it just a few times, probably about a half, to make a 1/2 of an inch twist so that it holds really well. Then you just simply are going to slide. I said twist and turn, not twist and shout. Then you'll slide that ring off, that little loop off of the dowel. And you have made your hanging loop. And now I'm going to put both of those pieces of wire together. I first did the splits and then realized, nope, I got to put my beads on. So if you didn't want beads, you would immediately go to the next step. But I believe that beads give a little more flair to the ornament, and most crafters are using beads. So in this case, I did wood beads, and I painted 2 of them with a chalk couture shimmer gold paste. It was actually Nominee was the color. And that kind of offset the white one with the 2 gold ones, kind of blended with the theme colors of the little church shaker. Again, I'm just threading those beads. So you want to probably use beads that the hole that you're going to put the wire through is easy to go through, and there you have it. Now I'm going to do the split. The wire is going to do the split, and I keep talking about that. Then I'll take my needle nose pliers, and I'm going to make a little bend down on each side. Just bend it down. This helps the beads fit flatter to the shaker. Of course, it depends on what the shape of the shaker is. In this case, it's a little more difficult because it's a pointed church steeple on here, but that usually helps it to go flatter to the shaker easier. Now what you have to do is you have to take those 2 holes of the shaker and thread your wire through. I had a little, sometimes it can be difficult, so I struggled tiny bit with it on my live, so I edited that out. So what you see is that I have run the wire through the top 2 holes and out through the bottom. Now I'm doing the split again with that wire, and we're going to take our fabrics and ribbons and whatever you choose for tassels. You want to start layering them smallest first, if you in width, is diameter or what have you, because those will wind up being on the top when you tie it all together and flip it. And if you have anything that ribbons or whatever that are one-sided, you want to make sure that the back side of the ribbon is facing you as you lay it down. and the front side is going down. So when you flip that over, you have face. You can see the face part of it first. I'm struggling with this, so I had quite a few little items, and I got a lot of these from the bundles that you can get at Hobby Lobby of ends of ribbons and tassels, or ribbons and threads and laces and that type of thing. They have those little bundles over in the Sewing Notions, and I don't know that they ever go on sale, but they have lots and lots of items in them that are so usable for crafting. So I'm taking, of course, like I said, the smallest type first, and this was a gold satin ribbon that I pulled up, and I put 2 pieces of that. I had determined on my live, I wasn't sure what that gold satin ribbon said, but I believe it was some personalized ribbon for a young lady turning her 15 quinceanera. So because it did have something written on it, and the Roman numerals X and V, which is 15. Anyway, I digress. So I'm just continuing with all the different little pieces that I have. You can take fabric scraps. You can cut your fabric and tear strips. And I didn't, in this case, have any strips on here. I used all ribbons and laces and that type of thing. Yarn makes a really good tassel as well. And if you're going to use strips, you want to cut your fabric and use you can use any kind of fabrics, cotton fabrics and what have you, to go on the trim. You're going to kind of gauge it by what your shaker looks like and what the theme might be, and that it is huge where you can go with this. I mean, it's terribly enormous to be able to just put yourself into it, and every single shaker tassel is going to be different, and they've become quite trendy. Last year, a couple of years ago, I think they were also beginning to be popular, and now crafters all over are just making them. They ship easy. They make a nice decoration, and it, like I said, if you're theming it for Christmas, this could be any type of a decoration. This could be a Christian theme. This could hang in your little prayer closet where you go to pray. Any type of thing like that, it would be great. Now, this was a piece of ribbon that has a tiny wire in it, and I'm simply showing you that you can take those pliers and pull that wire out, and it makes that ribbon flexible. The wire makes it stiff so it doesn't hang loose. So when you just pull that strip of wire out on both sides, you've got a nice flexible piece of ribbon. And the sizes are going to graduate up as far as the width of the strips that I'm using. And this is about, I think I used some satin that is probably 3/4 inch, maybe an inch wide. I think the satin. That lace is sort of wide. I loved that lace, and I thought it was very pretty. I got that on a bolt at Hobby Lobby in the Sewing Notions, so I decided to use that. It's kind of elegant. And here is my satin ribbon, I believe, that I used. And I think I made that the last piece of ribbon. Now, ideally, you can use as many strips as you want. I use 2 per item. If you do it this way, you crisscross them. You can do up to, like, I would say you could even do 32, depending on what your fabrics and your ribbons are like. will give a nice bulky tassel to hang on your shaker. But I did this and it was perfect for the little church. I tied it up with some twine, and then we're gonna put it shake it up a little bit, and spread it out, get it all fixed up there so that it hangs nicely. Then you're going to just put it onto the bottom. Remember, you have that wire that you have split open from the whole bottom of the shaker, and you're going to wrap that wire around that tassel and twist it several times. Then you're going to take the ends of that wire and fold them back up inside the hole in the bottom of the shaker. It comes out just perfect like that. You want to use your pliers to make sure you get it pushed up in there really well. Always be very careful because these shakers are breakable, and when you start working with metal pliers and that type of thing and metal wire, you just want to be kind of delicate when you're doing it and not overdo and break your shaker, because it's kind of a waste then when you do that. I had thought maybe if it were a little bit loose that you could put a little bit of hot glue up between those strands and the base of the shaker, but I've not ever seen anyone do that, and it just came to my mind as I was chatting here. So it turns out to be, I'm going to cut it because it's a little bit long. So when I say 14-inch strands, keep in mind that you may want to trim it. You do want to make it even, so you're going to trim it somewhat to make it even. And now I did the trimming, and now I'm simply putting a little satin trimmed in gold ribbon and tying a knot, and that's to hang it with. So it turned out to be a sweet little ornament. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. And again, I'm Lyndell from Lyndell's Craft Escape. Please follow and like me and see all the goodness that you can find. Here you go. Bye-bye now, and God bless.